I thought I'd do a review of Namor number 2, which was released on August 21st, 2024, which was yesterday. I'm recording this the next day. I had done a video previously on Namor number 1, which came out last month. And this is a mini series by Jason Aaron. And I liked number 1, and I thought, well, maybe I'll start getting it. I had no intention really to start following this series. I just kind of bought number 1 on a whim. But having liked it, I thought, well, I'll buy number 2 as well. And fortunately, I liked this issue as well. Now, the copy that you see here is actually the Werewolf Stormbreakers variant edition, a variant cover. It costs the same. It was the same price at my comic shop, $4.99. That's how much the issues cost. This is, I think, a 8 or 10 issue miniseries, and each issue is going to be $4.99 because it has more pages than a regular comic. It has, like, I think 30 pages. So I liked the old school look of this variant cover, but the regular cover looked cool as well. It's just, didn't look as old timey as this one did. And I don't want to show the whole issue, but I did want to kind of remark on the art. Again, it has 2 different artists named, Paul Davidson and Alex Linz. And like I said, Jason Aaron wrote it. So I don't know who did what. If like they did, like one artist did the modern sequences and the other artist did the flashbacks to Namor's youth, because there is that in this issue as well, like it was in the previous issue. The art has a weird kind of, at least in the modern day sequences, the art has a kind of weird look to it. It's kind of a quirky, hard to describe look, but it's not really usually the type of art that I like. But for Namor, it just kind of fits, in this watery setting. And you get some backstory about, what's going on. Like these 7 different kings of, the underwater world have sort of taken over, and they're sort of vying for control. And one of them here is Atuma. Again, this is a really nice, even though the art is kind of quirky, it has a very dramatic feel to it. Kind of reminds me of something like that you would see in like 2000 AD magazine or something like that. It doesn't have a Marvel house style type look to it. It has although it has that action oriented look, but there's a quirkiness to it that I think is just really good for a Namor comic. And Atuma looks really impressive here. Now, the funny thing is, my one complaint about this entire comic is that it's called the Crimson Swim. The Crimson Swim is the name of it. And it sort of builds up to this battle between Atuma and Namor as Namor challenges Atuma to the Crimson Swim. And it's sort of this thing where they pour wine on each other or whatever. And I don't know what the purpose of this is, but it has a kind of the red wine or whatever. It kind of has a look, a blood-like look to it as it floats in the water. But this thing is getting built up as like this big battle, and they're talking for most of it. And then you have flashback sequence, but we'll get to that later. So let's go back to Atuma. And so Namor fights Atuma. There's like one page of them actually fighting. And that's it. Namor just kind of knocks Atuma out in like one page. As soon as they started fighting, it's like one punch, and that's it. And then there's this great thing here. So that's my one disappointment with this issue. This is a great double page splash. That's my one criticism of the comic, is that it had been kind of building up this whole big thing with him and Atuma having this battle. I mean, Atuma is one of his main villains, probably the main villain. But he knocks him out in one punch or whatever, and it didn't seem, it seemed anticlimactic. But again, look at that. Look at that artwork there. Pretty awesome, eh? So, anyways, this is sort of juxtaposed with this flashback sequence to when he was a teenager and sort of being raised to the throne. And he meets this woman. He meets, I I forget what her name was, the this character who is sort of tried to teach him that there's like this underclass Atlanteans, the underprivileged and so forth, that his people are kind of oppressing. And so she's trying to give him these life lessons. But it turns out she's sort of a rebel, and in the true sense of a word. And so they come into conflict. And so that's a bit of a spoiler that, you know, that she's like, quote unquote, a bad guy. Although, who's the bad guy in this situation when it's a Namor comic? Um, so, anyways, let me see if I should peek ahead to see what the last page was. Well, that's when that girl that he met earlier as a teen, he's going to meet in the present day, who's going to be someone who opposes him. So, anyways, I recommend it. I think it's like 30 pages of story, something like that. So it's worth $4.99. Try to find a magazine of any kind these days, even like a crossword puzzle magazine that isn't like $4 or $5. And this is very, colorful, very brightly done, and well written too. And so really nice Namor comic. If you were looking for something different, maybe you wanted to try a Marvel series, but you didn't want to get something that's like going to be tied into all sorts of other stuff, crossovers and all that stuff, or you'd have to know a whole bunch of stuff. This, you don't have to really know anything. If you know who Submariner is, you're good to go. So it's very classic, I think. And like I said, you don't have to get this cover. This is just the variant, but I liked it for its old school appeal. Anyway, so I'm definitely going to try number 3 when it comes out. I think it's an 8-issue miniseries. But yeah, I'm going to get number 3 when it comes out, and looking forward to that next month. And maybe I'll review it here. Thanks for watching.